We are back, and we are talking once again with David Meerman Scott, the noted author and strategist and keynote speaker.
Good to see you again, Angel.
Yes, it's so good to see you. Today, we are talking about virtual events, but something very specific, the content.
So important, so important.
Now, let me throw you a scenario.
Sure.
You have a 3-day event that you've always done. Now you've got to do it in 3 hours. How do you approach it?
You know, so many people get that part wrong because they're used to that in-person event. Mm-hmm. They're used to having a keynote speech be an hour. They're used to a panel discussion being an hour. And then they try to recreate that in a virtual event, and it's way too long. Mm-hmm. And it's, you know, one camera just constantly droning on just doesn't work. So the thing to do is to think about little short snippets with things to break it up. And if you have a wonderful studio like this one, multiple camera shots, and how you can involve the audience. So think of it almost like a television program, like a morning news show, for example, where you've got, you may have a keynote speaker, but maybe they'll only speak for 15 minutes. Maybe they'll bring in a guest in the middle of that 15 minutes. And then you're constantly moving and changing. It needs to be different than what an in-person event typically is.
That makes so much sense. Let me ask you this, live versus pre-recorded?
I think that both can work, but it's a matter of reimagining how the live happening right now, you know, you kind of put your life on the line when you go live, but it allows it for engagement. It allows for live Q&A. It allows for you to have the audience be involved in, which is critically important. And then you can bring in recorded segments within the live broadcast. I think that works really well. When the whole thing is pre-recorded, that's a TED Talk.
Right. You know what we've seen as well is people doing a combination. So it's pre-recorded, but then having a live Q&A.
Yeah, that works. That can totally work. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then having different parts of a keynote be recorded. So, for example, I actually presented right here in this studio. You'll remember last month.
I do.
And I presented, and then in the middle of my presentation, 2 or 3 times we went to video that had been pre-recorded. And that worked great because everyone in the studio knew when that was going to happen. Yeah. And I talked for maybe 10 minutes, had the audience engage a little bit, went to a pre-recorded video, came back, talked a little bit more, another audience engagement, another pre-recorded video, bang, 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 and all of a sudden half an hour is gone before you even know it.
So really it is, as you said at the beginning, it's like thinking about it like a TV show, thinking about it quick, interesting, not like the old-fashioned in-person event?
It's not theatrical.
Yep.
It's television. Absolutely.
Got it. Got it. That is excellent. Well, I'm glad we could sit down today. I get you for one more time. And when you come back, we're going to be talking about virtual events in context of with customer relationships.
Awesome. Great. Looking forward to it.